Hello, my dears. It's Aisling Mooney, angel intuitive, author of the book Angels Are With You, Oracle card deck teacher, healer, angel channel, and I'm here. This is the Angel Bootcamp, a week of angels, healing, spiritual transformation, setting our intention, manifesting miracles. Hope you're enjoying it. And this is something new that we're going to do today. And it's angel stories, coaching. Of course, I always have my cards with me. So we'll see what we have time for during the session. But the idea is that when I used to teach, so many people trying to get in now. So just bear with me because I'm just letting people in as I'm speaking. When I used to teach live classes, now, I don't know, 15 years ago, I can't even remember when, I used to be very, very nervous, like really nervous. And I remember my first angel class, I literally closed my eyes, just start meditating straight away because I couldn't look at anyone, I was so nervous. You know, I was like, okay, everybody sit down, close your eyes, and let's go in and connect with the angel. And that would calm me down enough. So by the end of it, I could actually speak to people. You know, we'd all had wonderful experiences at that stage. But I remember one particular event I went into, and it was a women's community centre that I was asked to go and talk about angels for a couple of hours. Nervous as usual, what the fuck, fraud syndrome coming up, all the usual. And I walked into this space, and it was a small room, and literally there was chairs lining the place was packed. There was people bringing in chairs and stools and every sort of thing that they could sit on. The room was just packing up, and I was getting more and more nervous, and I was like, oh, holy fuck, you know, all strangers. And so I started by asking them, just to take the focus off me really and my nerves, about their angel story. So I gave maybe a short introduction, talked a little bit about why I was there and what I was hoping to do, and then said, so let's do a round. You can say your name into the circle, and if you want to, you can share an angel experience, or if you believe in angels, if you don't believe in them, if you've had any sort of experience or a story that you want to share, you can do that. Keeping in mind, you know, keep it brief because we have limited time. And that class just fucking blew me away, and it stuck in my memory because I heard some of the most incredible angel stories. Like, I've had amazing things, coincidences and angelic interventions and healing experience, psychic healing, karmic stories. I've had, like, I should put them in a book. Incredible things happened to me over the last, I mean, I've been communicating with spirit since I was 16, you know, so in all of that time, it's, I don't know, do I have to tell my age again? I'm in my 50s, 52 years young, I think, it might be 53. And so in all that time, I've had millions of experiences that I've shared throughout my classes and courses, but this class sticks out in my mind because there was in particular two beautiful stories, and I'm going to share them with you today. And then I hope that sets the scene for you to share your stories with me and with this community. And it is recorded, so we will post it in the Angel Bootcamp. So just to let you know that. But I would just love to, you know, for me, when I hear angel stories, it reassures me. It lets me know that it reminds me that they exist, that they're there to help and support me. And just gives me courage and confidence and dispels the doubt and the fears and the worries. So it's really useful when we hear other real people tell our stories of angels, visitation, signs. So I think I'm feeling that this session is going to be deeply healing for all of us. You know, whether you're here live with me or you're watching the replay, it's going to be deeply healing. And I hope that you get something from it. So before we start, if you haven't done it already, you know, some people arrived after I said this, post in the chat and just give me one word to let me know how you're feeling, so I can just get the vibe of our group and how we're feeling right now. And if you're watching the replay, you can just post this under the video, wherever you find it. Just give me one word to let me know how you're feeling. I said I was curious because I'm curious to see how this is going to work out. So before we kick in, we jump in. Transform with Angels is coming to an end. This cohort, this beautiful group of amazing people, we've gone through 12 weeks. And I'm opening the doors again for another 12 weeks. So we're going to step in from the 19th of, which is next Monday, for another 12 weeks. So this is your invitation to jump in. If you're enjoying the boot camp, if you're enjoying this community, you're enjoying working with me, and you want to take it deeper, the Transform with Angels course is your next step. And I'm going to just write the URL in here. Oh, I can't comment. Maybe somebody can write that for me. I don't know why I can't comment here. Okay, so the URL is ashleymooney.com/angels. If somebody could write that in for me, I would really appreciate it. For some reason, I don't have comments on my thing. And that is that you get Transform with Angels, and you also get 2 amazing courses. And I'm considering adding a third one, and I probably will. The 2 is the A to Z of Angels, which is 26 videos of every question from past lives to I don't know, how to connect with your guardian angel, how to bring in money, how to call in your soulmate. Everything is in the A to Z of Angels. And then you have Meet Your Guardian Angel course, which is an amazing, beautiful course. 3-part series to get you connected with your guardian angel. And I'm going to add in the forgiveness course as well, which is 7 separate meditations on how to just bring in that energy of, thank you, Elizabeth, I really appreciate that. Thank you, love. So the URL is in there now. So the forgiveness course is a deep dive into forgiveness on so many levels. That whole course is overseen by Metatron and Mother Mary, so the energy is incredible. And all of that is $197. And you get a live monthly calls with me right up until December. So the course is 12 weeks, but I'll be live every single month in that group doing this sort of thing, angel cards and coaching. For someone to come and book a session with me, it's a lot of money. So this is a really affordable way for you to continue this experience and to get these live experiences as well. And if that's too much for you right now, there's a payment plan, and you can start at €77 for 3 months, and you're in, and you have that program forever, and whatever upgrades I make, and it's yours. And at the moment, I've reopened that community, the Facebook private group, after 5 years of closing it. So you have access to that amazing community. That's where everything is going to happen. So if that's calling you, it's open now, and it closes in just a few days. So I would really encourage you, if you're enjoying this experience and you want to continue it throughout the summer, dipping in to that community, having that support. If you've been supported so far, then this is definitely a really good step. So the URL again is ashleymooney.com/angels. Okay, let's kick off. We got Archangel Raphael is our card. And it says, open yourself to the sound of healing. And it's like, sometimes, I say this often, so you probably heard me say it before, but sometimes when I'm speaking, when I'm giving a message, answering a question, the angels have told me that sometimes me talking is just the distraction that's needed so the healing can take place. So that there's healing beneath the words. There's healing just by us energetically coming together and opening up into a space like this, coming to connect with our angels. The healing begins, the transformation begins, changes fucking miracles can start to happen in your life. If you haven't already done this, go and find the recording I did on Monday and the opening session, and set your intention in that space. Set your intention. And think about what it is that you'd like to manifest before Sunday, before the end of this week. Is it love? Is it money? Is it health? Whatever the hell it is, set your intention, say it out loud, and let us hold the space for that to happen for you in your life. But literally, when we gather in places like this, there is healing just by us gathering, never mind what we do during our time here. So I love that. I love that card. Just a lovely reminder that this is a beautiful healing session for us all, for me as well. So, kicking off, let me just read the comments. If anyone has any questions about Transforming Angels, just send me, just PM me, send me a PM on Messenger or on Instagram. Facebook is better because I'm more active there, but and sometimes I miss questions on Instagram and on my private link, not the page link. So if you have any questions, just PM me or post them in the group throughout the week. So Debbie's feeling excited, Elizabeth open, filled with a lot of thinking. Hi, Belinda. Okay, so we're ready to kick off. Okay, so I want to tell you those two stories really quickly, and then I want to hear your stories. Has anybody got stories? Have you got stories that you want to share? Just so I know that, otherwise I have a page full of stories here to fill this hour, but I'd love to hear yours as well. So I'm going to tell you two, and then anyone who has an angel story, just let me know in the chat. I have a story. So in this class that I spoke about, I had this room gathered, and I started asking people, introduce yourself. Some people said, don't really believe in angels, don't really know if they exist, not really sure why I'm here today, just curious, thought I'd come along and give it a go and see if there was anything for me, and a little bit skeptical. So there was a lot of that. But there was also a lovely openness, and it was a beautiful women's centre, so they knew each other, they were friends, so there was some like, come on, you know, it'll be grand, let's enjoy it, let's see what's up. But there was also some people that were really open about their angel experiences. So one of them was this woman, and she told the story of her mother's passing. And she said herself and her sister were in the palliative care hospital in a room when her mother was passing. And it was obviously a very emotional experience. They, you know, the family were grieving, but her mother had lived an amazing life. She said she was an amazing woman. She'd helped, you know, not amazing in a celebrity or, you know, politician or anything like that. Just a fucking ordinary, extraordinary woman, you know, like all of us here. Like my family members, I think of my grandmother, and I think of all the people that, like on daily levels that they supported. One of my grandmothers was the woman that they call when somebody died, to lay out the dead, to clean the dead bodies, because she didn't mind that she was in another life. She would have been a nurse if she hadn't got married, you know. But like so this woman was saying her mother was just an extraordinary woman, very community led, was like really helped and supported so many people in her community. And just before she transitioned, just before she passed over, it was in the middle of the night, herself and her sister were in the room, and she said a quiet came into the room, and the room started to fill with orbs. Colored lights all over the place, different colors, different sizes. And she said, I looked at my sister looked at me, and she said, can you see this? And we were both like, yeah, I can see this. So they were both having the same experience. Like I've had lots of experience, I've seen orbs, but nobody else around me has seen them at the same time to say, to verify it. So she said it was just the most incredible experience. They were surrounded by orbs, and her mother took her last breath and passed over. It was so emotional, but it was so deeply healing. And her sharing that story really reassured and supported and helped so many people in that group and help me as well to remind me that when we pass over, or when we're supporting a family member to pass over, there are so many angels around us. And I had a period in my life where I had my second child, and the first 6 months when I was breastfeeding, I would go up to the bedroom, mainly in the dark. It was mainly, I had the curtains closed. It was just a lovely space. And I loved those 15, 20 minutes when I was feeding Emily. And I've never seen so many orbs in my life as I have in those 6 months. Literally, the room would come alive with colours and lights and flashes, and just and the peace and the serenity and just the joy. For anyone that has breastfed, it does release happy hormones. You're smelling your kid's head, and it's a nice place to be. Not saying life was rosy, or there was lots of shit happening, but in that 20 minutes, it was just pure joy and bliss. And I saw all of these orbs and these angels surrounding us and just enjoying the space. And what occurred to me in that moment was, we're always surrounded in angels. It's our ability to see them is really based on our ability or our willingness to be quiet. So because I was quiet every day, 2-3 times a day, I was able to see those orbs. My eyes adjusted, I was open up, my heart was open, and I was able to see those orbs. But just because we can't see them doesn't mean that they're not there. If we could see, in one of the messages in my angel book, I must actually find that message and post it in the group later. The angels have said, if you could see with our eyes the light and the love and the color, the way your world would just transform into a place of color and orbs and light. So that story for me was just really, really beautiful to hear about how they both shared the same experience. And another story, which I'm going to share with you, which also I thought was just astounding. So this woman spoke about, she said she was going through a period where she had really difficult neighbours. They were like really annoying her, really abusive. It was causing her an awful lot of stress and anxiety. She was considering moving. It was just upsetting the whole family and had gone on for a long time. And one morning, her son, who was about 9 at the time, told her something that had happened in the night. He said that he had woke up in the night, in the early hours of the night. He was a kid, so he didn't know what time it was. I'm guessing it was around 3 or 4. That's usually the angel hour. Between 3 and 5 is usually the angel hour. 4, 4, 4. 3, 3, 3. Her son told her that he was woken up in the night and there was an Angel Michael, standing in his room. He felt very calm, and Angel Michael said to him, "Come with me into your mother." So he said he got out of the bed. Michael took his hand and went into his mother's bedroom. And his mother was asleep, so this woman was asleep. Michael went over and touched her forehead. And he said to the kid, tell your mother that's all going to be sorted with the neighbours. It's all going to be fine now. And brought the kid back into bed, put him back into bed. The kid went to sleep. So he told his mother this, and she was like, holy shit, what? The whole situation changed after that. I can't remember the details of the story. Maybe the neighbours moved away, whatever it was that happened, the whole situation changed. She never had a minute's trouble with the neighbours after that. And she said it just gave her immense comfort to know that there were angels looking after her. There were angels that had answered her prayer for help and support. And that there was also an angel looking after her child, and she said a few years later, she asked her son about this visitation, and he couldn't remember anything. You know, he wasn't aware of it. He had just forgotten about it. But she remembered, and she was able to tell us that day. And I just found it a really reassuring and beautiful story. So I'd love to hear. I've loads of stories, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on those two stories. What resonates? What comes up? What piques your imagination? Have you got stories? Has anybody got a story that they would like to share, or you just want to hear me rattling on for the next hour? If anyone has a story, just post in the chat, and we can hear your story. I know you have stories. Okay, Elizabeth, come and tell us a story, love. Come and tell us a story.
Yeah. So story. First of all, I think it was so funny because I thought, what story do I want to talk about? One story came to mind, and then you talked about your experience with your passing grandmother, right? Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was one of the first. My sister, it was in our old place where I lived, and when we moved into that house, there was we felt sort of like there was a lot of time where it felt like someone was pressing from the attic downwards, like it was like. And I was like, really like, okay, come on, let's go. I was at that time very much like, hands on, we have to work, just don't do those stupid things.
So you felt, am I right? You felt an energy from the attic.
I felt an energy that was like, okay, life is hard.
Okay. Okay.
And all the joy that we had downstairs, it was like, roar. And we created a room for people. How did you call it? A guest room? Yeah, upstairs. And so my sister one time said, "I'm not going there," and because it's quite crowded. It was like, "Oh, okay, well, whatever. Then don't." And so I created a different room, and then we had guests. And one of them was really an advanced, mystical guy. And he said, after 2 days, he said, we have to do something because there's a woman and she has no idea where she is. And she keeps asking for something. And And so she was really happy that finally someone was listening. And I loved how he approached it, because he really said, she just needs some guidance, what I want us to do. And so he was with his friend, and I'm not sure if my husband was there, but I think the 3 or 4 of us, I can't remember my husband. So I think the 3 of us, he said, we're just going to sing. And it was very funny because it was a very physical, she had sort of a physical place, an anchor was like an oil lamp. And it was like, okay, we'll just sit there. And we just hummed or sang or whatever it was. We just did that. And to me, at that time, I was a very reluctant in showing people my abilities. But it was like, okay, he had already seen them in me many times. But I was just that whole singing, we just did that, and I felt this beautiful grace of something that I actually also had felt when my children were born, but the other side of it. And it was like, this is sort of the in between of the hard part, in a way, of going into the world and passing into that, "Oof, okay, this is a whole new realm," that had the having to
Okay.
before. But
So you're
also,
saying this was, so you were comparing that transition to the
exactly,
birth of a
because
child to the
there was
passing of
there
this
was a
person.
sort of similar energy. And
Mhm.
what I felt was actually it was a cold, but like a beautiful cold, nothing fearful or anything. It was just
Mhm.
like, we have to get her from one place to the other. And I felt this deep, so I did not see an angel. I felt a huge, I did see an angel, but it was so different than what I thought it was, because it
Mhm.
was really big, and it
Mhm.
was very um straightforward. Like, okay, we're doing this. Actually, my energy of that whole time, like la 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 la, but it was like picking her up in the most gentle but very,
Mhm.
this is going to happen. We're not,
Yeah.
it's your time, you've spent long enough, go,
Mhm.
come with me. And even talking to, I can feel it, right? And it felt like very, it, this, the grandness of that, and just our little um awareness of, we just have to invite this to happen, and just putting our attention and just singing, and then that happened. And from then on, that was a lovely attic.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was just stuck, and was like,
Yeah.
and she was trying to, like, hello, can anybody do something?
Where the fuck am I?
Yeah, so that is the one story. And yeah, I think that might be enough.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that, Elizabeth. Maybe we'll bring you back on in a minute. We'll see if any of
Yeah.
the stories, but I love it. And I love that the voice. I love that the power of your voice
Yeah.
was enough to help this woman transition over. And just a little bit of, sometimes it's just one person with confidence in the room to say, we're going to do this. You know, that's enough to bring everybody else. And sometimes that's what those souls need, is that, you know, that confidence. It's okay, this is where we're going. That sounds very Metatron. That's Metatron's energy, is very much like,
Oh.
okay,
Oh
guys,
yeah.
this is the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because normally I'd say Azriel, but it sounds to me like you picked her up. It's very, there's a beautiful book by a woman called Betty Eadie, Eadie, for anyone that would like to learn about the afterlife and near-death experience, and NDE, yeah, NDEs. So, and Betty Eadie is a fabulous little book. She had two near-death experiences. One when she was a child, and she basically describes Metatron, and then another later in life. So it's a little tiny book, but it is amazing if you want to learn more about this. So I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks for that, love. Okay, so who's next? So Belinda, you want to go next, but you don't want to come on Zoom. Absolutely. Just leave your camera off. Just unmute your mic, love, and just come on.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you, love.
Hello, my darling. So nice to speak to you.
So what's your story?
It's about my mum who passed many years ago. I honestly can't even remember the date. There's so much happened between then. But we lived about 800 kilometers apart, and we'd had quite a volatile relationship. She was very poorly when I was growing up, lots of hospital trips with diabetes and things like that. And I had a phone call from my father about a week before saying, Mom's in hospital, she's really poorly. And I couldn't make it back up to where they actually lived. And the one night it just came over me. I was very much into my scriptures, and I've always had a lot of premonitions and things. And I went to bed that night, couldn't sleep, and I got up and I just started praying, for want of a better word. And all I could think was, please send the angels to sing for her. Sorry, I've never told this story before. And then I started singing, and she passed that night. And when my dad phoned me in the morning, and he said her last words were, can you hear the angels singing? And that was just, yeah. I was just like, no, I have to tell you guys that, because it was just like, wow, okay. And that's the story. I mean, there's so much more behind, obviously, you know, the relationships thing and all of that. But the fact that those were her last words, can you hear the angel singing? She got really quite delusional and everything. She was so poorly. She had septicemia and everything. The thing is like the day before that, like the day of the night I did that, my sister and my father said, no, she's on the mend, she's getting better, she's going to be okay, you know, because I was like, you know, do I need to come up there? And they were like, no, she'll be all right, you know, she's stable and everything. And I just knew she wasn't okay. And she'd always really, she always been a very quiet person. She liked really quiet music and stuff. So I was like, well, just let the angels go and sing to her. And apparently she just passed away peacefully with the angels singing to her. So, yeah, that's the story.
God, I love that, Belinda. Thank you so much, love. That's adding that into my little angel story list there. That's so gorgeous.
It's lovely, isn't it? I'm going to unmute so we can hear some more beautiful stories, Ashley.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your
Belinda.
presence in our lives. It really helps me.
Thank you, darling. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Beb. Bye.
Bye. So what I love about that is, again, we had singing. For anyone that doesn't know, Elizabeth is an intuitive voice coach. So she's bringing the singing and the singing stories into this space. It seems to be. We've had 2 already. So I love, and we had the card we had was open yourself to the sound of healing, and this girl is beating a drum. She's not singing, she should be. Oh my God. So I loved that story, Belinda. I really love that. I mean, what an amazing gift to know that your mum passed surrounded by angels singing to her and singing through her transition and helping her to pass peacefully. Like, so absolutely gorgeous. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, my darling. Who else? Anyone else got a story? Who would like to tell me a story? I would love to hear your stories. Even just put your name in. You have a little angel story. If you don't want to put your camera on, but you want to just share your voice, we would love to hear. We would love to hear. I have a million stories here, so if I don't hear anybody, I'm going to jump in and ahead with another one, and I think Elizabeth has another one. But I would love to hear your stories. And if this works, I'll do it again, you know, and we can get more stories in. Let me see, what story will I jump in? I had a lovely story about, I used to teach personal development to women, and I had always gave an angel card, even though it was sort of personal development, gave an angel card and said, like, you know, you can ask your angels for help. So I said, you can ask your angels for help and you can pick a card. And this woman said, I don't believe in angels. She was quite aggressive. I don't believe in any of that shit. I don't believe in angels, and I'm not going to ask for anything. So I was like, oh shit. Confrontation is not my strong point. So I was there and I said to her, okay, I'm going to ask for you. I'm going to ask the angels to help and support you this week with whatever is going on with you. And that was it. She went, and I forgot about her for the week, to be honest. And the next day she came into the class. She couldn't fucking get into class quick enough. She came over to me and she said, oh my God, do you remember last week I was in such a state, I was so rude. I said I didn't believe in angels and you asked for help. And I was like, couldn't remember. And I was like, oh yeah. She said that later that day. I love this story because, yeah, it's human earth angels that saved the day in the end through angel intervention. So she explained to me that she had 2 sons and they were in trouble. They were hanging around with the wrong crowd. They had her, she was a single parent, and she was really struggling. And she was in a sort of energy of, why is this happening to me? Why is nobody supporting me? Why are there no resources? Who can I call to help my kids? She was literally very angry and screaming and shouting. That was her energy. So she said that day when I was like, I was at my wit's end worrying about my kids and I didn't know what was going to happen. They were going to end up in prison if they didn't get some support. And she said, I got a phone call to come along for a meeting to meet this guy who was coordinating this new program for kids that just weren't doing well in the normal school system. And this was a project that would, they would be working with maybe 25 kids. They were doing art, they were doing drama, they were doing video photography. So it was very arts-based and it would support them in a different way. And they would still do some of the normal lessons, but that it was more arts-based. So anyway, she just heard, okay, I'm going along to this. The amazing thing was she sat down in front of this guy. He heard her whole story. And he said, well, look, we'd love to take your boys into this program. It's going to help them X, Y, and Z. It's going to be different. I'm going to be there. And she said he was a lovely man. And I asked him his name, and his name was Peter Mooney. It turns out he was your dad, Aisling. It was my dad. So I had asked for help, and literally my father, he's still alive, had stepped in and supported her. And he said it to me then later on. He said, I had a woman come along that was in one of your angel classes or something. And our 2 boys are coming. And I don't know the story. I don't know how those boys, but I know my dad, and I know that he would have really looked after those kids and really done his best to support them. And you know, so it was, I love that story, little angel intervention and a little family earth angel sort of love in there as well. So how is this resonating? How is this supporting you? I'd love to hear from everybody that's here. There's a good few of us here: Amanda, Amy, Andrea, Anne, Catherine, Debbie, Julie, Maureen, Tracy. How is this resonating with you? You're totally welcome to write your story in the chat if you don't want to come live. But I would love to hear if you want to come live and share another story. I would love that. But please share in the comments maybe a story that you want to share. And you're welcome to share it in the Facebook group afterwards. Maybe you get some courage afterwards and you're like, oh my God, I really have to get this story out because I know it can help and support somebody who's wondering, do angels exist? Another very quick one, which I'll tell you. It's a funny one, and I've told it before, very quick one. I was running this angel event, and I had booked it for a Saturday. Just before the event, I was told, we've double booked, the hall isn't available anymore. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to have to cancel the event. And then I was thinking, okay, what if I move it to the Sunday? And I thought that's going to be such a pain. People are going to ask for a refund. Nobody's going to turn up. People are not available. It's literally last minute. Let's just say there was 12 people coming. I can't remember how many. But it was a fairly full group for like a retreat of that size at the time. And so I just was there. I was hemming and hawing, thinking about this in my head. And I got into my car and I was like, okay, angels, help me to fucking decide. Should I put it Sunday? Should I cancel? Or should I just do it the following Saturday? What should I do? I said, I'm going to turn on the radio now, and there better be an answer in this message. We're back on sound again. It's not so curious, and songs and music. So I turned on the radio, and a song by U2 came on. Now, the origins of this song aren't very nice. You can go and Google that. But a song came on by U2, and it was Sunday, Bloody Sunday, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Screaming and laughing like a crazy woman in the car on my own. With this music, I put it on high, belting out. I was like, oh my God, it's so fucking funny. And so I literally rang everybody that was coming, said, look, explained the situation, said we have to move it to the Sunday. And let's say out of the 12 people, 11 were able to move to the Sunday, no problem. They didn't mind, and one just couldn't make it. So it was literally like a funny little experience with the radio again. So let's see, who else has a story? Elizabeth, do you want to share another one? You have another story to share, or anybody? I would love. Do you want to hear me talking, yapping? So I'm going to be here for another maybe 20 minutes.
I have.
Yes, go ahead.
I would love. Okay. What came to mind was a really beautiful one. It was that my dad had Parkinson's, and in his last stage, he completely was inside of his own world, not able to come out. And I went to see him, and on the way to my father, I felt like, oh, you know what I miss? I actually miss that he acknowledges me or that there's, because I knew he loved when I was there, and there was some, but there's this recognition that you have from your father. It's like, I see you. And I was like, oh, I there was something, it hadn't happened for a couple of years. And it was just like, oh, one moment of that, wouldn't that be? And then it was just a thought, a wish, something that came up. I remember sitting on the train, going there, feeling that sort of, and then I sat there was nothing special, and we were just talking, not talking, I was talking, and he was like, whatever. And out of nothing, out of nowhere, he lifts his head a little bit, just tiny movements that are different from the just a very tiny movement, and he shifts his head to me, and his eyes look into mine, and I just start bawling because I can see him see me. And I just said, yeah, hi, it's me. And he was just like, and this enormous love, and this, like, I cannot believe it. And it was just like that moment. And that complete grace of that moment, of something that shouldn't be happening or would not be able. And then it was just, and I thought, oh, I want to hold on to this. And then I thought, no, you cannot hold on. This is a moment for eternity. Just keep this within your soul. And I just allowed it to I don't know, something forever. And I thought, like, oh, this is the moment for eternity, and just let that be that. And then, of course, after a couple of minutes, he was like, back again. But that, I remember that it's actually in talking, I'm not sure I ever acknowledged it as a gift from the angels, but it was really like, it was, you could almost sense in a way like something was holding a finger in his, it's actually really in his brain, like light it up, like for once here you have an
He
extra
was
layer
there.
of consciousness, like here, and then whoop, through all the density and the
Yeah.
body that he was captive in, and then all of a sudden there he was. And yeah, that's that story.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks so much,
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
sure.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. Yeah, and sometimes in the sharing, they become even more important, these stories, to recognize these moments and connect them with the feeling that they bring, the grace and that it can be, we can ask for anything. We can ask for support with anything. And sometimes we're asking all the time, but it's like when we catch that thought and then it manifests, we're ready for it. Maybe if you hadn't have been waiting for it, or you hadn't been, you might have missed that moment, So I love that. Thank you so much, darling. Thank you. I'm going to share another story, and then I'm going to come back to you, Elizabeth, if you have another one. No, you have no more. Okay. I'll pull those stories out. But I'm going to thank you so much, my darling. Thanks for just the vulnerability and the openness, which just being here and sharing that. I really thank you. Thank you, darling. Let me see. So I'm going to tell a story that I have two stories here. Which one will I tell? I'll tell this story, because it's not an obvious one. Or maybe I'll tell this other story. Sorry. So you might have heard this before, because I've told it a few times, because I love this particular story. I was teaching a class again. I don't know what the hell this was, personal development, angel, I don't know. Community centers just started asking me, can you come and just teach a course? Because I'm a massage therapist, reflexologist, yoga. I done a certificate in yoga, Indian head massage, back flare remedies, aromatherapy. I had all of those modalities, like certificates that could fucking frame this room. I wouldn't need wallpaper of all the things. So it was literally like, can you come in and teach aromatherapy? Yeah, I'll do aromatherapy massage. Can you come in and do this, do that, whatever? So I went, and I one day decided to teach walking meditation. This is what I'll do today. So I went into this classroom and said to everybody, okay, we're going to put on some music. And it was this beautiful, from the Bliss album, it's Om Shakti music. It's a very, there's a sort of a background, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And it's 4 minutes, so it was long enough. It's a good 4 or 5 minutes, so it was long enough for people to have a good walk around the room. So it was literally a small enough room, but I said, everybody up, and we're just going to walk, and we're going to try and breathe with every step that we take. So take a breath. On the out breath, you move your feet. So it was a very it was just like, just bring yourself into your body, into the moment, and really connect with your breath. So it was that. So we had this music playing, and everybody was breathing and walking around this room. Just these ordinary women, me, ordinary, all of us ordinary women, just walking around this room. And the door opened in the middle of this class, and this woman walked in, and she was like, I'm here for the art. She'd come on the wrong day. And so she come on the wrong day, and she said, I'm here for the class to the people. And they said, yeah, it's in there, go ahead. So she said, I'm here for the art class. And I said, no, it's not art. It's meditation today. Come in, just come and join us. Just follow your breath, walk around the room, and just get in the space. And, in my head, and go, we're not mad. Just. So she went around the room, was completely like a woman that should not have been there, out of her element. It was like, what the F is this about? This was not my plan when I have my breakfast. So she was walking around the room, And then set everybody down afterwards and said, let's do an angel card. And I gave everybody an angel card. I said, you can ask for help and support, whatever you want. And this woman picked her card, and I'm not joking, her face went white with the fright and the shock. And I was like, shit, what's after happening? I was literally worried about her. She was just like, so I actually went to speak to her privately. I didn't have it in the big group because she was so shocked and I didn't know what was going to come. So I said, are you okay? She said, oh my God, I've been going through a really horrible time in the last while. Her daughter was diagnosed with a mental health issue. Now you're talking 10, 15 years ago. So it's not, if somebody is diagnosed, let's say with bipolar or schizophrenia now, there's a lot more openness and there's a lot, more treatment available. So at that time it was different. It was a very lonely fucking diagnosis to have. So her daughter had been diagnosed with some sort of mental health issues, quite serious. And she said, I've spent the last few weeks, I'm a Christian woman, she said, and by the way, Angel, I have a spiritual background, but angels are for every religion. They're mentioned in all the religions and for no religion, they're just open for everybody. So just to put that in there. But she said to me, I'm a Christian woman. I go to Mass, I help in my community. I'm doing everything right. And then this happens. And she said, I've been going around the last few weeks going, if there is a God, like, why is this happening to me? And if there is a God, give me a sign. Because otherwise I'm leaving the church. I'm fucking giving up on all of this because I don't know what to do with this situation. Now, obviously, she was still in shock and, grieving for, the life she'd imagined for herself and her daughter. And just, there was so much in this whole trauma and the shock of this experience for her. So she was quite angry, But so she said, I've just been going around, give me a sign, just give me a sign, or I'm giving up. And she said, I wasn't meant to be here today. And I walked into this crazy class and you've handed me this angel card. And she showed me the card and the card said, a sign from above. Angel receiving a flower from above. And she said to me, the girl in that picture looks like my daughter. So just another little simple, beautiful message, little angel story that supported someone. And just so, amazing. I want a sign, and there you go. Here's your fucking sign. Now, that's not to say everybody should go out and get religious, As I said, for her spiritual practice was her Christian beliefs. For others, it can be, whatever. So you can call God, universal spirit, divine mystery, whatever, divinity, mother, goddess, whatever you want. So how is this resonating? How are you getting on? I'm going to read the comments because I've just missed them there. I'm going to actually post the Transforming Angels course in here again, ashleymooney.com/angels for anyone that's considering joining. I would love to have you there. You can start the payment plan if it helps. So let me just see. Tracy, I've had numerous experiences. Eventually surrendered after trying to fix situations myself and handed them over to God. Yeah, I love it. Please take this. Amazingly, it's just them and it's all lifted from me that it's sorted out with the grace of God. Love that. Thank you so much, Tracy. Belinda said, remembering those moments that are beyond reality, that sometimes we take them for granted. Sometimes the information we receive from the angels and God is hard to deal with. Commence drinking whiskey to run away. I'm loving this meeting. Yeah, my fix right now is Netflix. Instead of having to think about stuff or sit down or sit in that silence that is not silent, sit with my angels, it's just watch some Netflix or, we don't have to do this perfectly. We don't have to sit and in a cave for 30 years to get that connection with our angels. Our angels are here now, today. Literally every single one of us is surrounded by angels. If we could see with angels' eyes, there would be orbs everywhere. There would be life-size angels. I believe, as in my crazy mind, that at some stage in the not too distant future, we're going to be able to see angels, like real people. There are some people, maybe you've heard of Lorna Boren's story, where she actually sees angels as humans walking beside her. And some people on, like someone walking would see her the next day and say, oh, I seen you talking to the priest, or I saw you talking to that guy along the river. And she was like, there was nobody with me, it was Archangel Michael. Not to them, but to herself. You know, that sometimes the angels could show themselves to her. And there's actually in the Bible, come back to the Bible, we're getting a bit religious now, but let me just say, it just gets overwhelming sometimes. Yes, so special to hear all these stories, more about premonition though. Yes. So lots of different things. Have I any other stories that I want to share? I had something there that popped into my head. What was it? I'll tell you let me see, what have I got? I have lots of stories. Some of them are not okay. I have one story, which is a nice one. That I was walking. I used to live in Dublin in Clondalkin, and I was very lucky to have an amazing park, Corky Park, right beside my house. And I would often go to the park when I had issues or problems, and I would just walk with my angels. I would be like, okay, I'm walking into the park, angels, come on, come with me, help me out with this shit. I don't know what to do with this. You know, it's too much for me to handle right now. I just need some help and support. I'm hoping that by the end of this walk, I have some help. And this was something big. Like I've been through, I've had a few experiences in my life where I fucking needed support. You know, I've had experiences. I've had times in my life where I didn't want to be here anymore. You know, I don't know if that was one of those times, but it was pretty bad. And I was walking around this park, really looking for some sort of fucking answers to how. And I can't remember what it was, but I know I was down. And I walked around the park and I was talking to my angels and I was like thinking about the issue and talking about it. And I turned a corner in the park and there's like this area of, it's a grass area, it's beside a pond, and it's like, let's say 2 football pitches of just a field surrounded by trees and bushes, and then there's a lake, a lake in the middle of a pond. And I turned the corner onto this, and these football pitches, it happened by coincidence. Lived there 16 years. So I never saw this before or after. This was in the whole 15 years of thousands of times I was in that park at all different times of the year and seasons. This is the only time I ever had this experience in that park. So for me, it was a very special moment. I turned the corner and these green area, 2 football pitches, were covered in white feathers. Literally covered. I literally turned around and my breath just stopped and was speechless and stood there and looked at this sea of feathers, white feathers. It was the season of the swans or something were losing their feathers or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. But there was literally a sea of feathers, and I just felt protected, safe, listened to. I had this overwhelming sense of, it's going to be okay, Ashley. It's going to be fucking okay. And I left the park that day, not with the solution to my problem, you know, but just with the reassurance that it was going to be okay, that I was safe, that I was protected, and that the angels were sending me signs and were reassuring me that they were walking with me. And, you know, I have a phrase in my business, I put it on everywhere I can, and it's, you're never alone, an angel is walking beside you today. And it's that, so, you know, it's not that they're going to solve all your problems. It's not that they're going to take all these life experiences that you need, you know, to live. It's part of your life. They can't take it away, but they can make it easier. They can walk with you. They can hold your hand. It's like a good friend saying, there's shit ahead, but we're strong and we're going to do this together. And we're going to get through it as quickly as we possibly can. And we're going to call in all of the earth angels and all of the support and everything that you need to just get you through to the other side of this. And there will be another side, and you will get through, you know. And that's another little angel sign story. I was going through another period in my life, and so feathers can be a sign. Rainbows are a sign for me. An X in the sky is a sign for me. It's whenever, if I'm thinking about, should I go somewhere? Should I meet this person? I'm thinking about this collaboration or this new business course, or, you know, should I create this offer in my business or whatever? Look out the window and there's an X in the sky. And it's like, X marks the spot. You're on track. You're going in the right direction. So that's a sign that works for me. When my kids were young, the little signs, I used to get signs from the fairies, from the angels and the fairies. And it would be a little group of coins, a few pennies all together. I would literally find them in little places around the house. I was like a physical manifestation. I would literally be, you know, hoovering, and there would be a little group of 3 or 4 coins together. They were in unusual places, under the couch, on the countertop. So, you know, little manifestations of fairies. And but that is it. They're there for us, you know, and we just have to call on them to help and support us in every area of our lives. And I have a million stories, but I think that's enough for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope it's lifted your heart. I hope it's helped you. Can we have another card? Okay, of course. Let's have another card before we go. May we have another card? I'm very emotional in my understanding of all these signs you speak of. I need to observe more instead of hiding. So let's, while I'm picking this card, if everyone can just post one word in the chat. Just post one word for me and just let me know how you are right now. What has this session done for you? What has it, you know, has it inspired you? Has it supported you? Has it given you hope? Maybe you didn't believe in angels before, maybe you do now. Is it just giving you peace? Like, what is it giving you? So hopeful, seen, calm, love all these, open to receiving, love all this, feel the grace and cared for, trust, love it. Okay, so I'm going to pick an angel card for us to finish out this session. Thank you all so much for being here today. I really appreciate every single one of you and all of the stories, and I love the synchronicity of the stories of sound and angel signs. I love that. And for anyone that is considering joining Transform with Angels, I would love to have you there. We still have another few days in the Angel Bootcamp. Tomorrow we have a beautiful meditation coming, cutting the ties with Archangel Michael, that will really help clear your energy and clear any toxic relationships. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but it will be released, and you'll have that as well, that you can tune into that meditation. You've got the Jophiel one, you did inner child one yesterday. You have all of these juicy gifts this week, so use them. And on Friday we have a live Ask Your Angel session. I think I'm going to do it on Zoom again because it just feels more intimate and beautiful, and I can see your faces. So I'm going to do it on Zoom again. And then that is it, really. Then we have an integration day, you'll have a catch-up day, you'll have time to watch everything. And then Sunday is your very last day to join Transform with Angels. And that's a 12-week course. It'll be over the summer. You can dip in, have the experience of this. Same time every day, 10 a.m. That's when I do my calls. That's my angel hour. It's 11 for me. I'm awake up, and I'm awake long enough that I have a nice face. I wouldn't be doing a live at 8 o'clock in the morning now before I've had my coffee. So. But yeah, same time every day. So yeah, Transform with Angels, 12 weeks, 12 archangels, literally complete transformation, peace, just this, I don't even know. For me, when I work with angels, I make better decisions. I'm more intuitive. I'm better with my kids. I'm better with my family. I'm better in my business. I'm better with my clients. Everything improves. And just my level of joy and appreciation and gratitude for life and satisfaction just improves and increases just by that connection. So if you want to join us, it's ashlingmooney.com/angels, and you can get started with a payment plan for €77 over 3 months, and you have forever access, and you also have the Facebook group and all the live calls every month, and I would love to see you there. So I am going to pick a card. Okay, there's 2 cards coming out. Ooh, Archangel Haniel, take the leap. You are divinely protected. For anyone that's maybe considering transformative angels, this could be a message for you. Or if you're considering anything, you know, right now in your life that you're thinking, would that be a good next step? This card is confirmation. This is a perfect next step for you. This card is about boundaries. Haniel is the goddess of saying no, of standing up for yourself, clearing out what you don't need in your life so that you can make space for what you do need and what is good for you. And she's also the goddess of boundaries. So if there are any boundaries that you've maybe let slip in the past, you know, we can go through different seasons in our life and we might have beautiful boundaries in place, and then something happens and the season changes, or the kids are off, or a family member becomes unwell, or you become unwell, or something happens and the boundaries slip. So this is about what boundaries can you put in place to support you in whatever area you're thinking of right now. It could be relationships, health, finances, business. So in your finances, it could be, okay, a boundary could be maybe you started saving and you stopped. So maybe you need to start that again. Or maybe you started investing and you stopped. Maybe you could start that again because it's your future self that you're supporting by doing that. If it's in your maybe personal relationships, maybe you're putting up with bullshit and, you know, it's just been easy and you just need to take a stand for that and say, actually, no, I'm a fucking queen. I'm a goddess and I deserve the best. And so that could be, you know, bringing in those beautiful, healthy boundaries and really honoring yourself. So Haniel is there. Look at this beautiful image of this queen. Haniel comes in with the vibration of red. I've just got new car seat covers and they're red. I was like, I want red. I want the Haniel energy. I want to feel like a rock star when I get in that car. I want to feel like firm, confident. I can do it. I can say no when I want. I can say yes when I want. So, and that is all the Haniel energy. I will post these in the Facebook group afterwards. And the other card is Archangel Jeremiah, and it's release yourself from resentment. And we spoke a lot about resentment and anger, and those, because a lot of the stories that I shared were situations where people were like so fucking angry and so upset about life and you know the way things were working out for them. And it's like thankfully things did, you know, work out, or they got support that they asked for. But this card is about, it's Jeremiah, and it's just about releasing the past, letting go, the forgiveness meditation that I think we did yesterday. Was it that yesterday that came in, the inner child one? That would be a great one. And we all have forgiveness work to do. We all have forgiveness work to do. There's no getting away from it. Whatever level or whatever has happened to you in your life, you know, some of us have had a harder time than others, but there is, and some of us have had, you know, but all of us have had some sort of trauma. There is always forgiveness work to do, and it's never something that we come to easily in our lives. We usually have to be brought there to that place of, you know, we never come to really find our angels when everything is rosy in the garden. You know, I certainly don't. You know, I call my angels now more often, but in the beginning it was really like, help me with this, help me with that, sort this out, I have this problem, give me a hand. You know, nowadays it's help me to serve, help me to show up, help me with this healing. What do you want me to do today? what would be a great next step for me to support my clients, my group. So you know, how can I make a difference in the environment? How can I stop climate change? I don't know, what piece can I do in that? What piece can I do? Can you help me, support me, show me, nudge the way? But this is just a confirmation that even the work that we're doing, just by being here today, we are releasing, we are healing, just by arriving and being on this call with me today. So a lot of love, a lot of healing has happened. Mind yourselves this afternoon. Make sure that you drink tons of water if you can. Get yourself out into nature if you can. Put your feet on the ground, firmly on the ground. You know, get out into nature. Pick some flowers. Go buy yourself some flowers if you can in the shop, or a plant if you prefer. And just oh, I'm just going to mute somebody there. Hold on. Who's that now? Okay, so yeah, just go and look after yourself. Plenty of water, rest if you can. Have a little cry if you need to. You know, we've released a lot just by these conversations, and there's been a lot happen here in this, just in this hour. Get out into nature, talk to a friend if you need to. If anything came up for you and you need to go further, book a healing session for yourself. Go and reach out to a friend. Go to your doctor if you need to. You know, do whatever you need to do, put in place to support you on your healing journey. We may have opened up the beginning of that now. And if you need some extra support, take responsibility for that and make sure that you get that. We're going to be with you for another few days in the boot camp. And if you would love my support, I would love to see you in Transformative Angels. It's waiting there for you, an amazing community, 12 beautiful archangels. We're waiting to support you. Loads of love, my darling. Have an amazing day, and I will see you in the boot camp, and I'll see you tomorrow and Friday. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye. I'll unmute everybody for a moment. And we can just say goodbye. You can just throw your voice in if you want. Oh, did I do that?
Bye-bye, darling. Have a great day.
Bye, Melinda.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. That was lovely. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye, Maureen. Bye, everybody.